I'm Terry, and I am so excited to bring you the first in a series of beginner basics for yoga. So many of you have not felt like you could maybe keep up with the instruction because you've never had the very basics laid out for you. So this is my idea, our idea, Kate's and mine, to give you the basics so that you feel comfortable from the get-go. So if you're already one of our more advanced yogis, please share this with those friends of yours who have never really felt comfortable trying yoga, and I promise to take them through this really gently and slowly and deliberately. So the first thing I want you to do is grab either a yoga block if you have one, or a pillow about the same thickness as a yoga block. I'll start with the pillow, and you can use that as a prop, and a prop is really a gift. It's nothing like a crutch. It's something that you want to use to enhance your practice, and we'll be offering instruction for that as we go along. So the very first thing I'd like you to do is raise your hips by sitting on a pillow or a block. Nice. The pillow, you'll want it to be nice and not soft, firm. Good. So go ahead and take a seat on your pillow. And then you can sit cross-legged if you'd like, or you can sit any way that is comfortable for you. I mean, legs can be just out. One leg can be in, the other can be out. You can be on your knees with the pillow or the block going the long way. Whatever is comfortable for you to sit up tall. And so I'll choose cross-legged and get situated. Now sit so that your spine is long and your sits bones are pushing down and the crown of your head is pushing up, so that you're really lengthening through your spine, lifting your heart and tucking your chin a bit. So you've got a nice long line of energy from your sits bones to the crown of your head. Close your eyes. Tell yourself, you've got this. You do. You have this. And just as you close your eyes, notice where you are right now. Physically, how do you feel? Emotionally, mentally, what are you bringing to your mat? Accept whatever that is, and just start watching your breath as you inhale and exhale. So we teach a style of yoga called vinyasa yoga, and it links your breath with your movement so that you are focused on the movement, you're focused on the breath, and your mind can start to quiet and be here. So that's what I want to start with, is just focusing on your inhales and your exhales. Let's take 3 just like that. Inhale. Open your mouth. Ha. I'm a believer in the sigh. Big breath in. And drop your shoulders. Ha. Probably already feel better. Shoulders down and back. Okay, mouth slightly closed. And start inhaling and exhaling through your nose. That's going to be the pattern. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. If you find that that becomes difficult, or you have sinus going on or a cold, you can always open your mouth for the exhale. It'll get easier and easier to start to focus on breath. So as you're inhaling and exhaling and just watching that, I want you to come into the first pose that I want to teach, which is child's pose. Child's pose is like home base. So whenever you feel, and oh my goodness, I still feel this way in more movement involved vinyasa, I still come back to my child's pose for my rest until I get the breath back to the fact that it feels like it's flowing easily. And I want you to always know that this is your home base. So I'll go sideways here. Take your big toes to touch. And then your knees will be as wide as is comfortable for you. And that may be really wide, it may be really narrow. Just have your knees as wide as is comfortable for you. Reach out long in front of you and bring your forehead either to your cushion or your mat. Draw your hips back over your heels. You don't need to look at me at all. Just follow my voice. Soften your heart. Soften into any place that feels a little tight. And remember, this is home base. Press up to a tabletop position, which means that your knees are under your hips and your hands are under your shoulders. Send your hips back and your crown of your head forward, and then tuck your chin slightly. Pull your belly button up into your spine so you resemble a table. Get really strong here. Press and separate your fingers into your mat. Separate your toes and press them into your mat. And then just simply drop your belly, lift your head, and come into what we call cow. And as you press in your hands and you exhale, pull your belly button up into your spine, breathe out, come into what we'd call a Halloween cat shape. Breathe out. With your inhale, come forward, drop your belly, and you're just really opening up your spine, getting it ready to move. Exhale. Pull your belly button up into your spine. Breathe out. Inhale, so your pace, cow, and your pace, cat. Now we might say to move your hips side to side, move your shoulders around, do whatever feels good to you. And then come back to neutral spine again. We're going to press into the fingers, the base knuckles where your fingers connect to your hands. Tuck your toes under and press your hips back. This pose, downward facing dog. Your heels may or may not come to your mat. Your toes are separated and light. Your feet are hips distance apart. Knees can be bent, elbows can be bent. You want to find some softness there. There's always an efforting and an ease in each pose. So your efforting is in pressing into your hands, pulling your belly button to your spine, sending your hips up high and back. Your ease is in bent elbows, bent knees. You might walk your dog out, bending one knee and then the other. Gaze, which we often call dristi, is between your feet. Shoulders pulled away from your ears. Another good place eventually for home base where you can rest. Breathing in, breathing out. Now I'd like you to take lots of little steps on your tiptoes up to the top of your mat. Press into your feet. Come up to a halfway lift by pressing your hands onto your shins. Lengthen into what we call a halfway lift, a flat spine. Heels pressing down. Toe mounds pressing down. Toes lifted and soft. Shins being pressed into with your hands. Fingers wide and awake. Belly button up into your spine. Crown of your head reaching long in front of you. Look down so that your neck is long and tuck your chin slightly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take opposite elbows. Press into your feet. Bend your knees as generously as it feels good to you. Drop your belly down onto your bent legs
and drop your head, ragdoll. You can picture what ragdoll feels like. And it feels like letting go of your head. So the efforting is in pressing into your feet, sending your hips high, and the ease is in dropping your head, letting your, imagine a waterfall cascading over your upper back, just hang here. Or maybe move side to side a little bit. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. We're just letting the head drop. Breathing in, breathing out. Drop your hands down, press into your feet, and slowly from your hips, roll all the way up to standing. Reach your arms to the sky. Mountaintop, hands to heart center. Notice how you feel. Take some breaths here. Okay, we're going to go into our first, what we would call flow, chaturanga, up dog, chaturanga, cobra, down dog. You'll hear all those instructions. And all that means is we're going to reach up and fold. Place the hands on the mat, your hands. Bring your legs back into a plank position. Come down onto your knees. So it's a push-up position, high push-up position. Come forward, bring your elbows into your sides, and then lower all the way down to your belly. This is chaturanga. Cobra, press into the tops of your feet, press into your hands, and come up like a cobra. Feel this in your low back, come up only as high as that feels good to you. Little bit of sensation. Press into your hands, come onto your knees, and come back into downward facing dog. That's your flow. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Then step, maybe take a couple steps or just one big step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, remember that halfway lift, pull long from your hips to the crown of your head, fold. Rise into that mountaintop. Get where you can see me. Fold. You're at the top of your mat. And then you step back into that flow. Knees down, elbows in, shift forward, chaturanga. Maybe this far this time, maybe all the way to your belly. Cobra, as we did before, or maybe up dog. A little bit higher, press into your hands, press into the tops of your feet. And then onto your knees again, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Now our first standing pose is called Warrior One. We're going to go ahead and lift the back leg high, right leg, not the back leg, right leg. Step through to your hand, and maybe that means walking your foot up there, far as you can. Back foot slightly angled out. Toes slightly angled out. Press into the edge of your back foot, the back edge, the left edge of the left side of your left foot. Turn as far forward as it feels good to you. And then notice that your knee is over your ankle, not out anywhere in front of it. And then lift your arms to the sky, Warrior One. Always belly button into the spine. Fingers spread wide and alive. Sitting down into this as far as you feel comfortable. Big breath in. And then we're going to go through that flow. Hands to your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Come onto your knees again. Shift forward. This time I'll go all the way in chaturanga to the belly. Cobra. Press into your hands. Lift, elbows are at your sides, lift, breathe in, knees back, downward facing dog, breathe out. Notice the difference between your sides. Left leg up, same thing. Left foot, get it up to the front of the mat, however that is for you. Back toes slightly turned out. Press into both feet to come up. Use your core, use your feet. Knee is not out in front of your ankle, it's right over it. Warrior two, warrior one, second side, warrior one. Relax your shoulders, pull your belly button into your spine, press into your feet, breathe in, and we're gonna go at that flow again. Hands to your mat, left foot back to meet the right, onto your knees. This time I'll do the up dog, chaturanga, elbows in, down as far as you can here. Upward facing dog, tops of your feet pressing into your mat. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Excellent. That's your warrior one. We're going to take steps to the top of the mat. It might take one step, might take a couple. Fold. Halfway lift. Last pose we're going to learn today, Utkatasana, sit low. Feet can be hips distance apart, or your toes can be together with your heels slightly apart, either one. Sit back like you're sitting in a chair. Put your weight into your heels. Yes, this is effortful. You're feeling it along here. So you're following your breath and watching your breath instead of the way your thighs and your hamstrings and your hips feel. And then arms can just come up. I'll do this sideways. I'll do hips distance apart. So you're pressing into your heels. Now remember, you can always come out of this. Pressing into your heels, knees over your ankles. So you want to be able to see your toes. Utkatasana. Fold, breathe out. You're happy to do that. I imagine I am. Halfway lift, breathe in. And then just come on down to a seat. Notice how you feel and acknowledge that you did the first session in basic beginner yoga. Join me again for session 2. Bring your hands to your heart center, thumbs to your forehead. We wish each other a namaste, which just means the light in my heart acknowledges and bows to the light in yours. Have a great day. See you next time.